All right, YouTube, what is going on? It is Zaya here from Zaya&TheSteelers back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about day one of Steelers OTAs, as everybody has officially reported. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. Pretty much the whole team has officially reported. We get our first looks at some of the new players, some of the new coaches, and some of the old players, how they've worked this offseason. And I'm very excited to talk about it. So if you guys are Steelers fans or you enjoy NFL content in general, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to the people who have subscribed already. And shout out to the future subscribers, man. Also, let's get a shout out to the members. And also, let's start this video out early. This might be the fastest gunshots ever, ladies and gentlemen, as the 2026 NFL Draft will be held in Pittsburgh. The first time hosting the draft in over 76 years, man. So hey, let's look at some gunshots for that. This wasn't even something I expected to talk about this morning, but it came out like right as I was getting stuff up for this video, and so I wanted to talk about it for a second here. I don't live in Pittsburgh. I've been to Pittsburgh a few times now. Maybe like 3 times. I've actually, I lived outside of Pittsburgh for a little bit, but that's like Zaya lore we'll get into one day maybe. But I will say the city itself, especially downtown by like, I don't even know if it's downtown considered, but just like by the stadium and whatnot, where I'm sure it'll be held near. That area of Pittsburgh is really fire. You look at the scenes like before games and stuff like that. The city itself is very nice. And the city itself deserves the NFL draft, man. I want to say that I'm going to go to this, but I did look at NFL draft prices. I want to say last year, like just for shits and giggles and expectations for this. Because low-key, it's been kind of brewing of us, getting the draft. And, I was looking at the prices, and I will say it is very expensive to go to the draft. However, if you are already in Pittsburgh, if you have nothing to do on, what is it, a Thursday night? What is the round one Thursday night? I think it is Thursday. If you have nothing to do that day, you might as well go to the draft, man. Because, like, when's the next time? We haven't had this shit in 76 years. If you don't go to it this time, you're not going to see another draft until, what, 2112 or some shit like that. Like, you might as well go to the draft, so that is very fire. And we will see, who we end up drafting in that draft. It's going to be a very important draft for them. I believe next year is going to be in Green Bay, which, I know Pittsburgh is getting a draft, and it's like, ooh, yay, but when Green Bay gets a draft, I'm like, ooh. But, I mean, ooh, Green Bay, Wisconsin, man. What are you, Mr. Kennedy? Anyway, man, just something I wanted to bring up there. That's kind of exciting. But now for the official part of the video, what everybody has been waiting for, because when I seen this video, man, I hammered down Steelers fucking Super Bowl, man. Because ladies and gentlemen, look at this quarterback room, man. Like, this is absolutely incredible we got here. Shout out to the music. First of all, look at Russell Wilson, man. Like, look at Russell Wilson in the 3. I think I'm gonna have to battle the audio here, but look at Russell Wilson in the 3, man. Like, he just looks so inspirational, firing a dot right there. And then the real hitter of this video, man, because let me tell you guys, I made video after video like, should we trade for Justin Fields? Should we not? Like, is he good? Is he not good? Like, I don't know, man. He's wearing number 2. Who used to wear number 2? Mason Rudolph. All of that said, all of that done. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, in this practice uniform, man, Justin Fields is the future. This is all I need to see, ladies and gentlemen. Like, just look at the aura, as they say. Look at the aura of Justin Fields, throwing it there to Pickens. Then we're back to Russell Wilson, throwing it there to Pickens. It's like, who's Pickens' favorite quarterback, man? I don't know, because we got 2 of them. Some teams don't even have one. We look at the Denver Broncos, who just got Bo Nix. Ooh, Bo Nix, we'll see him at week 2. Do they even have a quarterback, man? I don't know, but I do know that the Pittsburgh Steelers have 2 of them. And I am very excited. Like I said, I think Russell Wilson will for sure hold this year out. We'll talk about it in a second here, but I'm sure Russell Wilson will at least have the first cracks of it all. He's a veteran guy. He's like a leader for us, and I'm sure he'll get the first cracks. But all I'm saying with this is, if Justin Fields can just hold firm, if Justin Fields can just continuously improve, if he can continuously get better next year and the future, it's all for grabs, man. And we look at Justin Fields, where he was drafted. I believe, what was he, like, maybe I would say at worst he was like the 10th overall pick. I remember the storylines and whatnot with like Trey Lance, and I think Mac Jones was in that draft. Like, I remember him being like the certified number 2 overall pick, and then people thought too hard, and then he fell deep down in the draft, and like here we are getting him for pretty much a 6th round pick. We kind of looked into it, man. We look at this, the same team who took Kenny Pickett 20th overall, and so, why not trade a 6 for Justin Fields for the potential upside? And like I said, he just, he just looks good in the jersey, man. He just looks good in the jersey. That's really what this whole thing is about. He looks good in the jersey. Russell Wilson looks good too. But I feel like I've talked about Russell Wilson a lot. Like Russell Wilson, like minus Justin Fields, right? Like I was kind of flippity floppity on Justin Fields. Like, should we get him? Should we not get him? Because that was predicated on us not getting both of them, right? But we look at Russell Wilson. He was somebody who I was like, yeah, we should get him. Like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like he fits our timeline. He fits our like, we're in a win now position, but like we're not exactly there yet. We need someone who can like kind of get us over the hump. Russell Wilson in the past like has been able to show that he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I know, recently it hasn't been that. It hasn't been like all, beautiful for him. But he just has that effect, I think. He just has that leadership effect. He has that like aura of like, yo, this guy has won a Super Bowl and he's been to another one. Like he's done it before, he just has. And so I was excited to get Russell Wilson. I knew, he was going to be our best quarterback option. But then we get Justin Fields as well. And, low key, man, maybe Justin Fields is going to beat him out. Speaking of that, we do have I want to show this one first. Justin Fields says he will become, let's just, I'm going to just watch it. Let's just watch it. And also, real quick, before I even play this, shout out to all of these accounts like that are covering the Steelers OTAs and whatnot. Like, I'm not trying to act like, I'm a reporter or something. I'm just like you guys. You guys are seeing the tweets. I'm seeing the tweets too. Like, and so I'm just showing you guys what I'm seeing. But really, shout out to all of these accounts who are giving us this content. If this isn't allowed to just be put on YouTube on Zaya&TheSteelers, my fault. Let me know. But for now, we're rocking, guys. We're rocking, guys. So anyway, Justin Fields had this to say about the quarterback controversy. Hell yeah. A lot of background noise.
So, I definitely don't have the mindset of, me just, sitting all year. So, I'm coming in every day, giving it all I got, and, pushing him to be his best, and he's, pushing me to be my best each and every day. So.
Hell yeah, Justin Fields. All right, let's one at a time. Did you guys hear that?
Giving it all I got, and, pushing him to be his best, and he's, pushing me to be my best each and every day. So,
Yo, like 8 people just asked us to do for it. Like, let's calm down, guys. Like, I know we're excited. I know, like, we're so hyped for Justin Fields, but like one at a time, please, guys. But anyway, overall points of this video, you see the quotes right here. Justin Fields did not come here to just sit all year. And, low key, the cook for me is for him to sit all year because, Russell Wilson, I believe, can give us at least one more year of some decent football. Like, one more year of maybe a little bit better football than Justin Fields. That's my opinion as of today, May 22nd, 2024. Now, when actual, game stuff comes out, when actual, footage comes out of all of it, maybe I'll change that opinion. But for right now, Russell Wilson does seem to be the guy. But Justin Fields does not give a fuck. Justin Fields said, I'm not just here to sit down. I'm going to compete for the job. This is a guy who was a starter for what, 3-4 years in Chicago. So he has that experience. He hasn't really sat, I don't think for very long periods of time outside of injury. And I don't even know if he's been hurt like that, to be honest. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a guy who came in, immediately started, and has like been starting the whole time. He gets to Pittsburgh, and now it's like, oh, I got to sit the bench. And instead of being like, oh, I was lied to, because I'm sure, I'm nasty for this. I'm nasty for this narrative. But, instead of being like, oh, I was lied to, oh, I can't, I'm not the starter, oh, trade me. Like, instead of being like that, Justin Fields is like, nah, man, I'm going to compete for that shit, which I respect and I like. Now, of course, what I'm alluding to is the whole Kenny Pickett thing. I'm alluding to the whole Kenny Pickett situation. And I'm sure Kenny Pickett was told one thing and like we went another way. Like the situation for him versus Justin Fields was different. We already had Russ before we got Fields. Fields knew he was going to have to compete. But it's just the energy of it all, man. It's just like that. I don't have the mindset of sitting all year. Like Kenny Pickett, I'm sorry, man, but like, did you have the mindset you were going to be sitting all year, bro? When we got Russ, he thought he was going to be sitting all year. There was no dog. There was no bite. And here I am not saying Kenny Pickett is a dog. Like, you see the Pitt helmet. I love Kenny Pickett, but I'm a Steelers fan first. We talked about the Cameron Hayward situation and how people are slandering him because they are Steelers fans first. I get it, man. I really do get it. But seeing these quotes from Justin Fields has me very excited. Seeing that video from 93.7, the fan of both of our quarterbacks, has me very excited. And yeah, bro, I said it a little earlier, like I am fully ready for Justin Fields to be the future. Like we don't have to draft a quarterback outside of like maybe a late round pick later on. Like we don't have to draft a quarterback for a little bit because Justin Fields is going to give us all he got. And speaking of that too, I have one more kind of Justin Fields narrative to get off. And just thinking about it, I think this is going to be a longer video, by the way, just, FYI. So this comes from Nick Farbaugh. He said, day one after Steelers OTAs, ask me anything. And shout out to Nick Farbaugh specifically because I do have a lot of his tweets up. I do get a lot of like things from him. And I know he really do be like working hard at like these Steelers events and getting all these getting all these quotes, getting all these rumors and all that out. So shout out to Nick Farbaugh for this. Anyway, are the Steelers trying to change how Justin Fields throws? Looks like his mechanics are changing. Nick Farbaugh says yes. They switched his foot back to his natural side, the right side. Russ also has his right foot forward. I'm not sure about the specifics. I'll dig into that more this week, but they have certainly. So let's talk about it, man. The spooky situation with Justin Fields was he wasn't as good of a thrower as he was a runner, right? This is the narrative that was spewed out. This is like what the situation was. Now, however, let me take you back in the time machine here. We talked about, Justin Fields getting kind of passed up by Trey Lance, getting kind of passed up by Mac Jones, getting kind of passed up by all these quarterbacks, right? We look back to Ohio State, right? And even year one in Chicago, we look back to that. Right, when he play, did we play him his rookie year, that Monday Night Football game? I'm not sure if it was his rookie year, but early on in he used to throw differently, right? This dude was not a running quarterback up until 2 years ago. When he was at Ohio State, early on in Chicago, this dude was throwing bombs. Chris Olave on the Saints, that was his man's, and bro, they were throwing 80-yard touchdowns a game. This is exactly how he was. Fast forward to Chicago, they fucking suck. They got nothing going on in there, and they're like, yo, our line is horrible. Not too much on the Bears, man. I really don't know if you guys suck, but you guys always trade us like good trades. So, shout out to you guys. Not too much on Chicago, but you know what I'm saying? The Chicago Bears suck. And so, we look at that team, and, Justin Fields is forced to become a runner. Justin Fields is forced to become this dual-threat quarterback. But mind you, in the whole draft process, his whole, young rookie career or whatever, before he was even drafted, there was no peep of this guy being a dual threat quarterback. You know why there was no peep about this guy being a dual threat quarterback? Or you know how I know that there wasn't a peep about it? Because he would have been fucking drafted higher. If they thought that this dude was a running quarterback for sure and could also throw too, because once again, that's how we got drafted so high. This dude was throwing bombs after bombs at Ohio State. You don't want to believe me? Cool, whatever. But I swear to God, that's what was happening, right? And you know how if he was looked at as this dual threat guy, he would have been Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson got taken high as fuck. Now I'm sure the athletic ability, Anthony Richardson's taller and whatnot. He has that kind of Cam Newton, thing to him, right? And so maybe I'm just fucking bugging here. But if Justin Fields was really looked at as this running quarterback too, as well as how good he threw in college, he would have been drafted higher. The narrative would have been way more, and he would have actually been running when he first got here. Chicago, they turned him into a runner. He turned himself into a runner because he was forced to do that. Because once again, as I said earlier, the Bears are horrible, man. They suck. And so now the narrative of this guy, oh, he can't throw, oh, this guy he's only running quarterback, he's a running back, this narrative, it created itself. Right? But now here we are in Pittsburgh. Now we're going back to his old throwing motion. This is why a change of scenery was needed. This is why he needed to come to a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, because we are a real organization. We are a real NFL team. We have actual goals, actual aspirations, actual coaches, actual teammates, actual players, actual offensive linemen, actual, let's talk about the Bears. We don't got to go too crazy on the Bears, but you know what I'm saying? We're a real team. And so for Justin Fields, and on top of that too, he has the opportunity to kind of sit and learn for a second. Chicago threw him into the fire with no teammates, no roster, no plan, no nothing. And he did what he had to do, man. This is a guy too who, once again, I said he wasn't like this running quarterback. He wasn't like this dual threat quarterback. He just happens to be able to do that. And so he used his ability to make the most of it. To me, that's a dog right there. To me, that is what is it? Oh fuck, what's that? Intangibles. That's intangibles right there, baby. And so hey man, we're gonna see Justin Fields with a new throwing motion, and maybe just maybe that arm will come back to where it was at Ohio State. And once again, we traded a 6th-round pick for this guy, and Chicago didn't even think to themselves before taking Caleb Williams, maybe we should predicate the offense to his needs. Maybe we should have him throwing on the right side. This guy's right-handed. We should have him throwing on his right foot. They didn't even think about that. They really didn't. And so now here we are in Pittsburgh, once again with a real team, real offensive coordinator like Arthur Smith. And shit might be different for Justin Fields. It really might be. And so I'm excited to see how he ends up improving. I'm excited to see the potential, man. It's just the potential, the future. I got a smile on my face. I've had a smile on my face this whole video, man. I'm just, I'm very excited to see. Next, here we go. Oh, and the one more last thing about the quarterback position. Shout out to Blitzburg here. Patrick Peterson on the Jim Rome show said that he texted Mike Tomlin after the Steelers signed Russell Wilson and said, now you finally have the quarterback with credibility and someone you can count on being in the lineup, referring to last year's quarterbacks, not Ben Roethlisberger. Clearly not Ben Roethlisberger, bro. And Mike Tomlin responded back, we got us one. Oh, man, we got us one. And that's talking about Russell Wilson. We just spent 10 minutes talking about Justin Fields, but Russell Wilson, too, is him. And you know, the narrative, I'm kind of putting this out on purpose. Like, the narrative so much was like, man, the Steelers quarterbacks are so bad. Man, the Steelers, like, if they don't get a quarterback, they're done. The Steelers, like, Kenny Pickett is ass. Kenny Pickett is trash. Don't get a quarterback from Pitt. Blah, 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 blah. All this Pitt slander. And, like, you guys are Penn State fans. I get it. You know, I kind of slandered Kenny Pickett for a second here, but not too much on Kenny Pickett. I'm putting this out here because, you know, a lot of, like, everybody was down on Kenny Pickett, man. It was like me, Zoo86, shout out to him in the comments. Steeler Nation Australia, shout out to him in the comments. Like, there's a few people who were like really like trying to die on this Kenny Pickett hill, man. I remember, and on top, and past like the handful of people, if I didn't name you, my fault, but if I didn't name you, you know, past the handful of people, everybody was like, yo, Kenny Pickett sucks. He's ass. The Steelers are never going to get anything done. And now we look at the players, and it's like the players are kind of saying similar things. It's like, all right, pressure's on, man. That's all. Like, the pressure's on. Like, let's get it done. You know, things have to look different, especially now, too, with a new offensive coordinator. Like, you know, shit has to look different. We have to be spooky, and I really think we will be spooky on offense. I'm very excited to see. But the pressure is definitely on. Like, it's not like Russ and Justin Fields. We're going to need one of you guys to not be ass, bro. Like, we're going to need one of you guys to really take the reins here because, you know, we've been having some bad quarterback play recently. Shout out to Mason Rudolph, too. Mason Rudolph catches none of this, by the way. Like, Mason Rudolph, his last year in Pittsburgh was a movie, son, because, like, this dude could do no wrong those last 3 games, and, like, we know the past, like, the past is the past. He didn't have a good time when he tied the Lions, for God's sakes. You know, like, the past is the past. We forgot about that for those last 3 games. But I will say, you know, as a Kenny Pickett supporter and, you know, the way the season ended last year with everybody just on Mason Rudolph, like, Mason Rudolph didn't give us 3-4 years or, you know, mid-football, and all of a sudden he plays 3 games and he's him. But, you know, like, he ducks that. Like, it's just all on Kenny Pickett somehow. It's all on Mitchell. It should all be on Mitchell Trubisky, guys. Like, let's really talk about it. Like, I know he's gone. I know it's over. We've moved on. But for one last time, man, Mitchell Trubisky, like, absolutely set Kenny Pickett up for just the worst failure because he's the one who lost the 3 straight games. Say what you want about Kenny. Say he wasn't him. Say he was ass, blah, 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 blah. We were winning with Kenny Pickett. We really were. And Mitchell Trubisky came in last year fucking dumped away 3 games in a row, and it's Kenny Pickett's fault. It literally was Kenny Pickett's fault that we had to squeak into the playoffs again, even though we were like 7-2 or some shit before he got hurt. Whatever, though. You know, we've moved on. All 3 of those quarterbacks are gone. It is the future now. Fuck it, right? But it's true. Like, Mitchell Trubisky needs to get slandered more. Like, he needs to get slandered more, in my opinion. You know, I think he ended up on a new team, too. He might be back on the Bills, to be honest. But, you know, shout out to Mitch, shout out to Mason, and shout out to Kenny. All 3 of those guys, too, on new teams. So it's not like, you know, any of them are out of the league. Yeah, because, you know, it is what it is. Not too much on the old quarterbacks. But Mitchell Trubisky, I hate you. Next. Here we go. So speaking of the quarterbacks as well, we look at George Pickens. George Pickens told Jason Mackney of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, we still haven't witnessed 100% of his ability. I'd probably say 80%. I can only go off how the quarterback plays. I can thrive more. The yardage showed it. I should have made the Pro Bowl. George Pickens, even that was somewhat of a shot there at the old quarterback rooms. We get it. You know, the quarterbacks were ass. Okay, you got me. Okay, but that to me is exciting too because we all know it. Haven't we all been saying this? We were saying this last year, at least me. I remember last year, man, they had Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and like all 3 of the Bengals receivers. They had so many wide receivers ranked ahead of George Pickens. And maybe it was because of the quarterback thing, but to me, fuck that. Like, that's still disrespectful because we could have Duck Hodges out there and George Pickens is still a dog. We had, you know, the room we had last year. George Pickens was still able to thrive or whatever at 80%, man. And so, like, with new quarterbacks, with hopefully, you know, one of them being good, we can hit that 100% mark for George Pickens, and this guy can really be a star because I've said it in a little bit, like, we've given him the keys to the city. We're anointing George Pickens as him. Like, we really are, and like it's all there for him, and it's just all about if he can like grasp it, and it's all about if Arthur Smith and the quarterback can kind of come together and, you know, they can all work in contusion because of course, you know, it's not all about George Pickens. We're going to be a running team for the most part, I think. Like, it's not all about him. It's about Roman Wilson too. It's about Pat as well, like Muth. So like it is what it is. But if George Pickens can reach 100% as we're going up as well, like at the same time, like both of it happens, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. And once again, we all know George Pickens can be a guy. We all know this guy is him. And so once again, it's just all about if he can actually go and reach that. And speaking of George Pickens, one more time, this right here is a quote. I'll pull all-nighters just thinking about football. Same, George Pickens. Same here too, man. I be pulling all-nighters just thinking like, bro, like what if fucking Jesse James caught it, man? And he did catch. What if they called it a catch? What if we didn't have to play Jacksonville in the first round? What if Buffalo didn't move that fucking playoff game? What if Big Ben, like what if we didn't fucking lose to the Browns after starting 11-0? And what if Marquise Pouncey didn't send that first snap to the moon, man? What if Fitzgerald Toussaint didn't fumble against the Broncos? What if we actually got to see the Killer Bees play in the playoffs healthy? What if Juju didn't fucking lay out Vontaze Burfict and the next week he's suspended and that's the game I go to, which we win and it was a good season. But Juju, man, it was a great play. I love seeing that. Juju now is gone though. I didn't get to see Juju play, bro. If he was suspended in the game I went to. What if that didn't happen? What if Chris Boswell signed my jersey when I was at that same game and I was right there in the front row and he was kicking and I know he heard me. I know he heard me because I was talking to Jordan Berry. But I got the Boswell jersey right here. What if, man? I pull all-nighters thinking about football too, George Pickens. Like, so I feel you for that. Next, here we go. We have some Najee Harris footage here. The talks about Naj all off season were like he was losing weight. And we can see he does look kind of thinner in this video. And we'll talk about Naj in a second here as we have, look at big Pitt practice facility there. Shout out to Pitt. But yeah, we'll talk about Naj here in a second with like the potential of his season this year. It could be a career year for him. And, the talks all off season was we didn't pick up his option. Let's see what Mike Tomlin had to say about not picking up Naj's option.
There's probably, it could reflect a lot of things, but, there's probably some depth to those waters. Sometimes it's positional related and things of that nature. There's a business component of this and of all decisions that we make. And so there's layers to it. I'm not going to try to characterize it in simplicity. That would probably be inappropriate.
Hell yeah, Mike Tomlin. So if you guys didn't really process that, if you guys didn't really understand what Mike Tomlin was saying, to me, this is how I took it, man. And I will say, this is very rip the Band-Aid off. This is very like harsh to me. And like, Mike Tomlin, he's a master with words, man. And so like, he knows exactly what he knows exactly what he's saying. And from the way I'm interpreting it, it's crazy to me because he literally said, he's a running back, man. And we're not giving a running back another contract. Hey, maybe not Tomlin. Maybe because, I don't know how involved Tomlin is. Sometimes it's like, it works out perfectly. For Mike Tomlin, man, this dude just avoids it, man. He's so good, Mike Tomlin. But sometimes it's like Mike Tomlin is super involved. Sometimes it's like, yeah, like he's the one who made the call. He's the one who got him here. He's the one who did this, and that. And then like we looked at situations like this where like maybe our favorite player, Naj, isn't getting his option picked up. And all of a sudden Mike Tomlin can be like, I don't make those decisions. I don't know. We look at the running back position, I guess they don't get paid. So, that's what we're doing. It's beautiful how Mike Tomlin can operate. But to me, and I don't know, if Tomlin is the one who's like making these decisions, but to me, what he said is, running backs, we can get another running back essentially. We have another running back in Jaylen Warren. And that's probably the reason why we're not going to pick up his option because, teams just aren't paying running backs. Like that is what he said. And true. It really is true. Like, true. You're right. Like, this is exactly what happens. We look at every running back in the league. They're on new teams. Like Saquon, new team. Joe Mixon, new team. James Conner, even, new team. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, running backs, Derrick Henry, new team. Name a running back, new team. Like, running backs, I do not think will play on one team for their whole career anymore. And, maybe there's, like, a few. Christian McCaffrey, new team. Maybe there's, like, a situation where that will happen. Maybe it'll be Najee to continue with the Steelers. But just for the most part, bet on yourself. Like, you're going to have to bet on yourself. You're going to have to bet on a new team. DeAndre Swift, new team. Miles Sanders, new team. Like, this is literally just the situation of it all. It is what it is. But yeah, to me, I thought it was a little harsh because we are going to need Najee this season. And Najee declined to talk to the media because I'm sure they were going to ask him some stupid shit about like, hey, man, were you hurt when the Steelers didn't accept your option? Hey, man, I know like you like running back careers, like they end kind of quickly. You're one injury away from like never being able to play football again. It's a dangerous game. And like you've made a good amount of money, but you haven't gotten that second contract yet. Are you nervous, Naj? Are you staying up? Are you pulling all-nighters thinking about not getting, like, I'm sure they were going to ask him this question, right? And so I get it. He doesn't want to talk to the media. I wouldn't want to talk to the media either, to be honest. But we're going to need Naj this season. And you guys know how I feel. You guys know I've talked about it a little bit, the Najee Harris situation. Like, I pretty much am reflecting what Tomlin has said. Like I've said verbatim what Tomlin has said. However, that doesn't take away my love for Najee. That doesn't take away like my expectations for this season. Like knowing we need Najee to like really, you know, eat this year. We need him and Jalen Warren to be that combination. So you know that doesn't take it away. But you know, to me, I thought it was a little harsh, man. I really did think it was a little harsh. I think Tomlin could have like, I don't know that, you know, he could have been like, you know, I'm not answering that. He definitely could have did that. But the fact that he like doubled down, like, hey, he's a running back. We're not paying running backs. It is what it is. A little spooky, a little spooky to me. But you know, we will end up seeing if that, you know, affects the team or whatever. We will end up seeing if Najee just like is done with us at one point. But for now, it is what it is. Next, we have another tweet. Okay, here we go. We got an important year two right here. We got the man, the myth, the legend. We got Mr. Broderick Jones, Mr. Left Tackle, as I believe Troy Fatanu has been playing on the right side, meaning Broderick Jones will go back to that left side of which we drafted him for. This dude was a monster last year. Like, let's talk about it. Like, once he came into the lineup, once we got like cohesion between him and the other 4 offensive linemen, like we were just moving the football, man. We really were. We were just punching it. And, you know, now we got a new center as well, and Zach Frazier. Like, oh my goodness, I am so excited to watch this team. You can see, I believe this is Zach Frazier right here. That's either Zach Frazier or Mason McCormick. Like, not to be that guy, but I'm pretty sure that's either Zach or Mason McCormick. Anyway, like, I am just very, oh, look at Big Dan Moore. Yo, look at Dan Moore. Do you guys see how ripped Dan Moore is right now? Holy shit. Yo, Dan Moore might be starting, man. Like, he might get that starting job again, man. Whether it's the left side or the right side, it don't matter. It's the Dan Moore. So, yo, Dan Moore. Holy shit. Like, guys, I promise this is live on the fly. Like, and, you know, pause if need be. But, like, Dan Moore looks absolutely ripped right now. Dan Moore looks ready to fucking, like, take somebody's. Can this dude play D-line? Can he play tight? Yo, I'm just saying, we need to, you know, maybe we need to find a way for Dan Moore to get on the field more. But, you know, it is what it is, whatever. Next, we got some Andrew Filipponi tweets here. As you can see, look at Arthur Smith already using the middle of the field in passing drills. Didn't see that with Doofus. Doofus is crazy. I didn't see Doofus, but you know, and it's the simplest thing. Matt Canada, man, I'm sorry. I know you were ass, and I know we were tired of you, but I will say I'm sorry, Matt Canada. Like, you got to deal with this because like this is so mundane. This is like literally just a practice thing using the middle of the field. Like they're just lined up like this, bro. And you see Cameron Hayward to Muth. Or I'm sorry, not Cameron Hayward was there, but I believe it was Russell Wilson who threw it to Muth. Yeah, it's Russell Wilson right here. He's throwing it to me. Look at that spiral. Look at that fucking how fast the ball gets there, man. We're going to win the Super Bowl, bro. Like, when I see this video, you know what I see? I see our 7th championship. Oh, we got okay, it keeps going, too. It keeps going, too. I believe this is Darnell Washington, and I do not know who this is off the top of my head. I do not. But, oh, here we go. Justin Fields, Pat. Oh, my goodness. Yo, we're winning the Super. Look how big Darnell Washington is, too. We need to have more plays with Darnell Washington catching passes, man. Whatever it takes, however we're going to do it. Apparently, this dude, oh, he can't create separation. Oh, he can't. The dude is 7 feet tall, man. Like, what the fuck are we talking? Just throw it higher, man. That's all we need to do. And so, especially in the red zone, too, that play action, you know, little dink and dunk to Darnell Washington is going to hit, and I'm hammering it down. Anytime touchdown score, Darnell Washington. I'm doing it until it doesn't work. Big trust. But yeah, we definitely do need to involve him a little more. Now, speaking of that, too, same Nick Farbaugh tweet about the Ask Me Anything. What rookie stood out to you most day one? Roman Wilson, in my opinion. We talked about Roman Wilson. We talked about how I was kind of sleeping on him, the Steelers fans in general, because like we just want this other receiver. We want this, you know, wide receiver too so bad. And Roman Wilson could be that guy, man. Like, he was a dog at Michigan State. I saw a clip of him versus Joey Porter Jr., like when they were both in college. And, you know, Roman Wilson, he did his thing, man. And, like, I'm excited to see him. And I don't know if he's, like, seeing this, like, disrespect. I don't know if he's seeing this as disrespect. I don't know if he's seeing Steelers Nation clamoring to get that wide receiver, too, because I don't know if he was a Steelers fan. But low-key, he just got here. So, like, he might not even be following, like Pickensburg yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might be new to this. And so he might not even see, like, how much, like, we've been, like, trying to get a wide receiver so far. But it's true. Like and like the Steelers specifically, like, it's not a rumor. Like, we really have been calling teams trying to get another receiver. So even we, the Steelers themselves, feel like we do need another guy, right? But you know, Roman Wilson is somebody who I'm excited to see, who a lot of people are excited to see, and the Steelers took him for a reason. We're the same team who's drafted wide receiver after wide receiver after wide receiver, and they've all been good, low key. Like they've all been beasts. And so, you know, for Roman Wilson to come out, like, and Nick Farbaugh says he's someone who he's like he stood out to him, like, I'm excited to see him. And he's also someone who can, like, be effective in, like, the blocking game. He's also someone who can be effective in, like, the running game. Just, you know, really, truly a very big opportunity for Roman Wilson to, like, really really take that number 2 slot. Like it's up there for grabs. I don't know if Calvin Austin is going to be someone who takes. I don't think Van Jefferson is going to be someone who takes. I don't think Quez Watkins is going to be someone to take it. Roman Wilson, it's all for you. Unless, and you know, we're 30 minutes into this video. I don't even think I'm going to have to edit this low key. Like this is a banger to me. But low key, you know, Brandon Ayuk, he's still not attending team activities, man. He's still available. I made the little prediction before the draft that we were going to get him. It's never too late to go get Brandon Ayuk. It's also never too late to go get Justin Jefferson, man. Listen, I know Steelers fans. I know we're like conservative about draft picks. I know we're conservative about whatchamacallit, like assets and whatnot. Like I know we don't like making these splash plays. But fam, if Justin Jefferson is actually available in any capacity, send the house, bro. Because like this dude is a legend, like low-key already a legendary receiver. Like if he's available, we're talking about we need a wide receiver so bad. Just go get him. Just go get Brandon Ayuk, bro. Like can we stop playing around and you know, reflect back to the last video of like Cameron Hayward making so much money. Why, like, you know, what is the big deal? Maybe that's why we haven't gotten Brandon Ayuk yet, because with Cameron Hayward's cap hit, we can't fit it in. Maybe that's why we haven't traded for Justin Jefferson yet, because with Cameron Hayward's cap hit, we can't fit it in. I don't know, but you know, if he's still available, man, that's all. He's still available. You know, Omar Khan. We haven't talked about Omar Khan in a little bit, and he used to be like the main character of all these videos. Omar Khan, man, if you can make this happen, make it happen, bro. If you can get Justin Jefferson as well, like make that shit happen. But if not, we reflect back to Roman Wilson. Roman Wilson, you have an ample chance to be that number 2. And if we trade for Brandon Ayuk, you have an ample chance to be number 3. It's not like, you know, we're just going to fucking drop you off the face of the earth. Like you're still going to have a chance to play, bro. You're still going to have a chance to make like some splash plays for us. But, you know, of course, obviously no Brandon Ayuk. It would be a little better for Roman Wilson specifically, I think. And lastly, to round out this video, this has absolutely nothing to do with anything. However, I really do want to use my Steelers Twitter like to talk, you know, like I really do want to actually like make this a thing. The problem is, and I'm not going to show it here, but like my personal Twitter, I talk about the Steelers all the time on my personal Twitter. And like, so I'm just going to try to, you know, transition those tweets onto here. And so if you guys like are on Twitter, if you guys give a fuck, be sure to, you know, follow me on Twitter, man, at SteelersZaya, bro. Let's get a follow on Twitter. But besides that, I think that is going to do it for this video. This is like a half an hour already. And what's beautiful about recording in the morning is by the time I'm going to work, which is like in an hour or 2 here, by the time that actually happens, day 2 of OTA is going to happen. We're going to have news stories, and so this video could be irrelevant, man, by then. But friend, you know, it's going to like something crazy is going to happen. Like Big Ben comes back, he returns, and like now we got 3 quarterbacks, and I'm not going to be able to talk about it until the next day. So, you know, unbelievable here. But, you know, if it does happen, I will talk about it, and you guys will get a video on it. So be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications if you guys are Steelers fans or you enjoy NFL content in general. Anyways, this has been Zaya from Zaya and the Steelers, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.